Saurav Kumar Das, a talented aspiring graphic designer in his mid-20s, is passionate about his craft, but finds himself in a difficult situation where his work isn't bringing in any income. In his small, bustling apartment in the city, cluttered with design sketches, books, and a computer desk, the room reflects Saurav's creative mind, but also the chaos of his current life. Act 1. The dream fades. Scene 1. Morning routine. Saurav wakes up to the harsh sound of his alarm. The morning sunlight filters through the curtains, but the warmth doesn't reach him. He lies in bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to summon the energy to get up. His once vibrant enthusiasm for design has dimmed over the past few months, as he's faced rejection after rejection. Finally, he drags himself out of bed and sits at his computer. The desk is cluttered with unpaid bills and scattered sketches. He opens his email, hoping for some good news, but instead there are only spam messages and a few more rejection emails from potential clients. Saurav sighs, running a hand through his disheveled hair. Scene 2. The reality of struggle. As the day wears on, Saurav tries to focus on his work, but the lack of progress is eating away at him. His designs are good, he knows that, but the market is saturated and he can't seem to find his footing. He opens a folder filled with past projects, revisiting them to see if he can find inspiration or figure out what he's doing wrong. His phone buzzes, breaking his concentration. It's a message from an old friend asking how he's doing. Saurav considers lying, saying everything is fine, but instead he types out a short, honest reply. Struggling? Work isn't bringing in any money. His friend replies with words of encouragement, but they don't lift Saurav's spirits. He thanks them and puts the phone down, feeling more isolated than ever. The passion that once drove him now feels like a heavy burden. Act 2. Facing the depths. Scene 3. The breaking point. As days turn into weeks, Saurav's situation worsens. He's barely making ends meet and the pressure is mounting. He starts avoiding calls from his family, not wanting to admit that he's failing. His rent is overdue and he's running out of savings. The stress is overwhelming, and he finds himself questioning his choice to pursue design. One evening, after another day of fruitless work, Saurav breaks down. He slumps in his chair, head in his hands, feeling completely defeated. The dream that once fueled him now seems impossible to achieve. He wonders if he should give up and find a stable job. Something that pays the bills but doesn't fulfill him, but even as the thought crosses his mind, it feels like a betrayal of who he is. Design isn't just a job for Saurav, it's a part of his identity. The idea of giving it up feels like losing a piece of himself. Scene 4. A glimmer of hope. In his darkest moments, Saurav remembers a quote he once read. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of success. It doesn't magically solve his problems, but it gives him a small spark of hope. He decides to take a break from his work and step outside, something he hasn't done in days. As he walks through the city streets, Saurav observes the world around him, the vibrant colors, the intricate designs in everyday objects, the way the evening light casts long shadows. It reminds him why he fell in love with design in the first place. Inspiration is everywhere, even in the smallest details. He stops at a coffee shop and orders a drink sitting by the window. As he sips his coffee, he pulls out his sketchbook and begins to draw, not for a client or a project, but for himself. For the first time in weeks, he feels a sense of peace. Act 3. A new beginning. Scene 5. The redefined goal. The next morning, Saurav wakes up feeling different. The financial strain is still there and his situation hasn't magically improved. But his mindset has shifted. He realizes that his worth as a designer isn't tied to immediate success or financial gain. He's reminded that the journey is just as important as the destination. Saurav decides to focus on what he can control, improving his craft and finding joy in the process of creation. He revisits his portfolio and updates it with new designs that reflect his current style and vision. He also starts reaching out to other designers online, seeking feedback and building connections within the community. Scene 6. Embracing the journey. Surav's situation doesn't improve overnight. There are still days when he doubts himself, when the weight of his financial struggles feels too heavy to bear. But he keeps going, one step at a time. He picks up small freelance jobs, not for the money, but to keep his skills sharp and stay connected to his passion. In the evenings, he works on personal projects that excite him, reminding himself of the love he has for design. Slowly, his mindset shifts from focusing on what he lacks to appreciating what he has: his talent, his creativity, and his resilience. One day, as he's working on a new design, an email notification pops up. It's from a potential client, interested in one of his recent projects. It's a small job, but it's something. Surav smiles, realizing that this could be the start of something better. He knows the road ahead will be tough, but he's ready to face it. The epilogue. Saurav continues to struggle, but he's found a new sense of purpose. He understands that success in the creative field is often slow and unpredictable, but as long as he stays true to his passion, he'll find his way. He's no longer driven solely by the need for income, but by the desire to create meaningful work that he can be proud of. As he sits at his desk, working late into the night, Saurav feels a renewed sense of hope. He may not have all the answers, but he's determined to keep going one design at a time. The end.